Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near death experience of Leona, and this experience occurred in May of 1997. Open quote. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I had been drinking when I was beaten severely by my ex husband. I was in a coma going through seizures. I do not remember anything at the hospital except the experience and the day I woke up. My family was called to the hospital to say goodbye because my body was deteriorating and the seizures could not be controlled with medications. This is according to family who came in one by one to say goodbye. My sister was praying over me, saw the heart monitor flatline, and I stopped breathing. She was holding me, crying and demanding me not to be dead. She said at the moment I died, I was finally resting. After 5 minutes passed, she was still holding me when I opened my eyes and said, "Hi, Madeline." The doctors had no explanation as to why I came back. Later that week, after I came home, I told my sister of my experience, my account. This is my only experience during my hospital stay. I woke feeling an incredible calm, like I had just passed through a tornado. I was led through whiteness to a white horizon, which I thought to be a road because I was walking on it. There was an area to the side of the road where I saw a badly mangled dog. I felt it was all right, but stared at it with sadness. Then a man, and I dare to describe him as resembling the pictures I have seen of Jesus, came walking up to me. He stood beside me with his arm around my shoulder and walking me forward. I asked what will happen to the dog. He said, "Don't worry. It's okay." I didn't feel satisfied with this answer, and as I started to ask what he meant, I was sucked backwards so fast I can't explain it. I was in my hospital bed, and I opened my eyes to see my sister's big blue eyes filled with tears, and she seemed shocked to see me. I remember saying, "Hi, Madeline." That was it. In quote for Leona's first part of her story, but it appears now that Dr. Jeff, who runs the site NDERF, asked her a question, emailed her maybe, and she emailed back. And there may be a couple of those. So let's go on and see that. Back to open quote. Further email dialogue with Dr. Jeff, 11/2/03. Dr. Jeff, greetings. Thanks for your remarkable contribution to the www.nderf.org website, Near Death Experience Research Foundation. We anticipate posting anonymously your account in the near future and will promptly notify you when we do. Your contribution will help us learn about NDE and will be an inspiration to many. I have some ideas about the aspect of your experience involving the mangled dog, which I would be glad to share with you. But to help me understand this aspect of your experience, I have some questions. I understand the mangled dog was beside the road. How close were you to the mangled dog when you returned to your body? By this, I mean with regards to the road you were on. Were you ahead of, behind, or beside the part of the road the mangled dog was beside? Also, the figure with you at the time you returned to your body, was the figure in front of you, behind you, or beside you? These answers and any additional details you could provide, including your own insights to this, would be greatly appreciated. Thanks again for sharing. Best regards, Dr. Jeff Long. 11/3/03, Leona. Hello, Dr. Long. Thank you for your letter. I will be glad to answer your questions. This road seemed to be the size of a road you would see in the country, but I could not tell you it was dirt or could I say it was paved. But there was a fence along my right. It was about 2 to 3 feet high. The fence seemed to be maybe 15 feet from where I was. The dog was on the ground just on the other side. The distance from me to the dog was 15 to 25 feet. It was in front to my right. When I passed it, I turned to look at who had their arm around my shoulder and to ask my question. There were never actually any words that came out of my mouth, but I knew he understood. As I passed the dog, the figure was in front of me, facing me, then turning with his arm across my shoulders. I remember his right hand was comforting. He held my right shoulder with it, and his left hand was touching my left shoulder. As he was guiding me on this road, continuing in the same direction, he was beside me. I was ready for the answer. All this was going on at the same time. Then damn vacuum. All at once it was loud, and the peace was gone. I felt robbed. I was not upset, but I wanted back the peace I had felt. I think I slept after that. I think it was the next day that the doctors and nurses looked shocked. They remarked how they never expected me to make it. I knew something I knew they didn't. I wanted to keep it that way. Only my sister and my mom were aware of my experience. My mom, when she found out she was dying of cancer, questioned me a lot about it. I told her, "Oh, Mom, don't fear it. Look forward to it. The peace is incredible. You will not feel the pain anymore." Note, she suffered so badly since the age of 30 of rheumatoid arthritis. There was not a day when she was not in pain. When she was diagnosed with cervical cancer, she did not tell me she was dying. Anyway, she thanked me and told me how lucky I was to have experienced what happened after this life. She seemed more assured the more we talked about it. I have handled the deaths of my mother and father easier than my sister. I know I will see them again. I know they have visited me after their death. My mom visited twice and my dad once. They were checking on me, but they must have moved on because they have not been back. I don't know if I mentioned this in the questionnaire, but I was concerned about how I looked. My hair was tangled and my gown was stained. My sister said, "Well, for 2 days you were thrashing and sweating. I don't know how your body took such a beating." I hope I answered your question. Feel free to write me again if you have any more. Best regards, Leona. 11/3/03. Greetings. Thanks for the additional information. One concern I had with posting your account is the imagery of the mangled dog. There are many people who visit our website who have lost a beloved pet, and I think some understanding of this aspect of your experience is very important to avoid unnecessary concern about what happens to pets after they die. Given this, I would greatly appreciate your comments on my best guess as to why the imagery of the mangled dog occurred, and I would certainly be interested in your comments on this aspect of your experience as well. My best guess about the imagery of the mangled dog is as follows. I may be wrong, and your take on this is probably the most accurate. I think the road you were on was a representation of your travel along your earthly life journey. The fence you saw to your right was a boundary, suggesting you should not cross it. Most of the time we encounter boundaries in NDEs. They are a boundary between where the NDEer is and where they cannot go if they are to return to their physical body. Such boundaries are almost always directly crossing the path the NDEers are going in their experience. The boundary you described was different in that it was not crossing the road you were on, but beside it. I think the dog represents your broken life up to the time you were hospitalized. Your earthly path is now away from the pain and damage you have been experiencing represented by the dog. This suggests the importance of staying on your life's path or road and not straying too far off the path. It is very significant that you looked at the figure you encountered. I am quite suspicious it was Jesus at the time on the road that you were passing the dog. I think the experience indicated that after you passed the dog on the road, passing this event in your life causing the NDE, you reached a readiness to see who was helping/guiding you along the way, which was what the figure was doing. Your account is a beautiful representation of the help I think we all have on our earthly journey and how we all have to come to a point of readiness to see and acknowledge the divine help available to us all. It was probably very important to you for your earthly journey that you came to see how you can turn to others for help on your life's journey and that the divine is always with you on your earthly journey. I suspect you were not very far along the road past the dog when your experience ended. Please let me know. You may be able to come up with some special meaning about the dog in the context of this discussion. Thanks again for sharing your remarkable experience. Please feel free to agree or disagree with any of the preceding. I would greatly appreciate it if you could share your thoughts on this. Kindest regards, Dr. Jeff Long. Hello again, Doctor. As I believed at the time, and as I still believe, is that this creature was passing through the death the same time I was. I am comforted to know that all God's creatures are processed in the same way. I do feel, however, that there is a screening of human beings. Some go on to the next level with ease, while others have a more difficult journey. I feel I was sent back because would still be needed for something here, whether it be strength for my family, my children, or providing care and love for someone in need. I don't know what it is. Maybe I still needed to prove my faith in Jesus. Maybe it was to take care of my ailing father after my mom died. He was terribly heartbroken and lonely. I moved in with him and cared for him out of love. I have already been rewarded for that. God sent me the most wonderful person I have ever met. We fell in love and married in April. He has a pure heart, and things I thought impossible we have accomplished together. I often prayed for this man. He always tells me, I prayed for you to come along. At this point in time, we were cleaning up the wreckage of our past when we met. If I was ever certain about anything, I am certain God put us together. I know there is more for me to do. I feel it, and I will be ready. As for boundary, I didn't feel it was a boundary at all. It didn't represent anything to me, but I was not there long enough to make any interpretations. I was on the road moving forward. I saw the dog. I saw him. I felt the arm on my shoulder. I looked at him, expressed concern for the dog, and whoosh! I cannot tell you any more than that, except that to me, time did not matter. My experience ended right after the whoosh of the vacuum. I would like to know what you thought of my concern about my appearance. It puzzles me. Warmest regards, Leona, 11/3/03, Leona, P.S. Referring to him as the figure or the man makes me uneasy. He was someone of authority and great knowledge. I don't want to be presumptuous by calling him something, so I prefer him with a capital H. Dr. Jeff Long, 11/5/03. Dr. Jeff, greetings. Thanks for the additional comments. To answer your question about your concern about your appearance, I don't know what to make of that. You nearly died, probably were on many medications, and this could have something to do with it. I would emphasize that prior studies have established that medications do not affect the likelihood of an NDE occurring or the content of an NDE when it happens. If you are okay with this, I would love to post your remarkable NDE account on www.ndurf.org website with the dialogue pertaining to your experience below. If this is not okay, please let me know. Thanks again for sharing your remarkable experience. Best regards, end quote. What an interesting experience and conversation there, and imagery of the mangled dog on the other side of the fence, and that she was badly beaten too. Representing her, not representing her. Why is it on the other side? There are a couple questions. Question, did you feel separated from your body? Answer, yes, without pain, no regard as to my looks or appearance. I was not aware of my body. Question, did you hearing differ in any way? Rushing wind. Answer, rushing wind, a vacuumed. Question, did you pass into or through a tunnel? Answer, yes, a fast tunnel, white. Question, did you encounter or become aware of any deceased or alive beings? Answer, yes, a man with long hair and beard and white garments resembling people from the Bible. Question, did you see an unearthly light? Oh, that's the same answer as above. Question, did you suddenly seem to understand everything? Answer, a feeling of knowledge. I can't describe it. Question, did you come to a border or point of no return? Answer, I wasn't involved in bringing me back. Only God and Madeline. Question, what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer, conservative fundamentalist. Answer, our question, what is your religion now? Answer, moderate Christian. Question, was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer, yes. The incredible peace is hard to describe. I felt beyond absolutely wonderful peace and was free of all worries. Question, do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Answer, uncertain. My father and my mother have visited me once since their death. My father once and my mom twice. Question, are there one or several parts of your experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer, the peace was the best. I don't feel there was any worst, except I was disappointed about having to leave there. Question, have you ever shared this experience with others? Answer, yes. My mom was relieved to know there was no pain and was not afraid when she died. She died of cervical cancer. She was in excruciating pain. End quote. End question. I hope Leona, sounds like she got the love of her life. So, and the gift of the experience. Life is tough out there. That's for sure. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.